Well, at least we can see the work in front of us here. We'll need to gain the east ridge by traversing at this point. We stay on the east ridge as long as we can, and then out into the snowfield to the summit. Geologically, this mountain hasn't been old enough, or there hasn't been enough moisture to form a cirque. Normally you would expect to find a cirque off the face of the mountain. At this point we see cliffs. Neighboring peak to the south at over 11,900 feet. We made it to the west ridge of Mount Idaho. If I said east ridge, excuse me. It's confusing sometimes. We're headed east, but we're on the west ridge. If Idaho has scenic shots, this has to be one of the most. A view of the state's highest mountain, Bora Peak, at 12,662 feet, looking across Cedar Canyon. Cedar Canyon is pretty inaccessible, hard to get in there. We just have to steal another view of Bora. The peak to its south, which is called Sacagawea. Okay, let's see if we can negotiate the towers on the ridge. And we safely passed this tower by skirting along the edge here. We have to watch it because this is sandstone, very loose, so we're taking our time. We've been progressing along the ridge, slabs and knife edges, loose sandstone. And on the way up, we take it one step at a time. Looks like another tower. We have to figure out a way to get out safely onto the snowfield. And it looks like once we get to the snowfield, it'll be straightforward to the summit. This is Class 3 rock. Handholds are required, but no great exposure. I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't a little scared. My legs are shaking about like a kid swimming in deep water for the second time. So we take her easy here. And one of the things that's nerve-wracking is to figure out where to cross over. We're on the west ridge now, and at some point either there or there we need to cross over and get out onto the face and the snowfield. We'll either go up that way or across that snow ramp and then up. We've committed ourselves to the snow ramp, and if we're wrong, there's not going to be enough time and energy to down climb and climb back up that other way. So We're hoping we've selected the right route, or we'll have to come back another day to do the climb. However, at least this snow ramp affords us some drinking water when we need it. Well, the game is not up yet, but it's looking iffy. So far the gully is taking us up. We're approaching the crest of the Lost River Range, and we're a little more south than I thought we'd be, with Mount Idaho apparently being over that way, so it looks like we can spot a way up there to the top. Katefdien, straight ahead. I think I can smell a summit. Ikorifi. The Dolomite summit of Mount Idaho reaches its 12,065-foot pinnacle right here. Here's the summit register, and here's what I have to say about my day. What's in a name? Mount Idaho, Elkhorn Peak, or Bell Mountain? Believed to be so named by Professor Laney and Vardis Fisher in the mid-1930s. In any event, it is a pleasure to become the newest member of Idaho's 912 Club, which is a sense of all 9 12,000-foot peaks in the state of Idaho. Rick Bogger, Idaho Falls, Idaho. As you ponder Bora Peak, there are more names in this register than you'd think. Duane Monty, August 91, climbed an ice route on the north face. Sorry, earlier parties called this Mount Elkhorn, or Elkhorn Peak. Tom and Dana Lopez made an ascent in November of last year. Hazel Service, 1990. Bob Peterson, Nampa, Idaho, who says he has also climbed all 9 12,000-foot peaks in the state. Idaho Falls climbers include Nitschke, Kozlowski, and Chuck Ferguson. He's probably climbed all 9 also. And Ranke and Dick Williams from Pocatello climbed this also in 1973. According to Tom Lopez's guidebook, a D. Millsap was the first one to claim an ascent of this peak in 1963. From our summit, we see straight ahead Leatherman Peak, Idaho's second highest mountain. Behind it, Mount Church, the third highest mountain in the state. Looking along the spine of the Lost River Range towards Mount Breitenbach. From Merriam Lake, a fork of the Pacimaroy River flows out toward the Lemhi Range in the distance. Golly, there must be some kind of range fire, forest fire. Look at that pall of smoke over there. Lemhi Range is not very visible, whereas it normally would be on a crystal clear day like this. And that would be looking towards Idaho Falls, about 100 miles distant. The days are getting short, so we'll want to head down the way we came up, which is Elkhorn Canyon. Go down in the gully, traverse across to the ridge with towers, and then descend by the spur that we came up, and then out to the Lost River Valley, where the motorcycle and pickup are parked, approximately in that area. We descended the same way we went up, that is from the summit, down the gully, across the face, and along the towers. One more easy tower to skirt, and we should be home free. Then it's just a longish hike out and down. That is Thousand Springs Valley, looking towards the Pioneer Range and towards Sun Valley. With the Pacimari Range in the background, we're looking at the normal way up Bora Peak. Straight ahead is a plateau at 10,000 feet. That makes for very nice camping. And then the way up to the summit would be to follow that ridge to an exposed corner there, almost at 12,000 feet. You dip down and then you go up the snowfield. And that would be the normal, quote, easy way up. Being the state's highest peak, Bora was one of the first Idaho mountains that I climbed on July 3rd, 1980, right after we moved to Idaho from California. Idaho is not wanting for grand mountains. The trick is just to get out and do it. What a great day to experience Idaho's backcountry. Thanks for coming along with me. This is Rick Bogger from Chalice National Forest, Idaho.